Welcome to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins. In this episode, I'm going to steam bend the oak seat supports. I'm going to test fit this seat. I got some epoxy on it last night. That's you're going to have to be sanded. It looks good at a distance. This is Jatoba wood. It's kind of a cross between a mahogany and a teak. It's very, very heavy. It's much heavier than mahogany, at least the mahogany I've been using. But it's beautiful. And I was able to find these pieces that were wide enough to do this. So that's part of the trick, though, is it's so heavy. Then you got to come in here at an angle. Like that. And then like that. Like that. Okay, so that's that. Now you can see, even as tough as this board is, it's got some give to it, and there's supposed to be a support under here. We're going to go look at it on the plan. I think if I put it in there, I think it goes in frame 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, this is 13 right here. So there's supposed to be a support under here, and it's supposed to be a steam bent curved piece of oak. So anyway, I like the way that's looking. Let's look at the plan. I've got these plans on the wall, and we have referred to these often. And the light's not great, but I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Now, this particular drawing is a frame 12 looking aft. So that means then that we would see what is at 13, and I'm zooming in on that curved piece. It says 3/4 by 3/4 bent oak. Well, I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, how in the heck do I figure out what that curve is like, and how do I make that work? So I'm going to want to try to make some sort of a form that I can put my steamed piece of wood around, that I can pre-bend it before I try to go just bend it and put it in there. That's not going to work. I'm going to have it all preset. So I came up with an idea, and I thought maybe I could take a little piece of poster board, just thin paper, and put up on here and make it go around this curve and measure it out, which is what I did. And I can't hold the camera and do that, but this has already been done. It's already measured out. And this now is the same length as the curve here that comes all the way up here to the underneath the seat. And we remember that on this plan down there, the scale is 1/2 inch equals 1 foot. And we figured out a long time ago that that means that, well, 1.5 inches is 12/8 of an inch. 12/8, so an eighth equals 1 inch. 1/8 on the, yeah, I even have that wrote down here. 1/8 equals 1 inch. Okay, so this little piece of paper that I've got is about 2 3/4 inches. So how many eighths is that? 8, 16, 22 eighths. So I need a piece of oak that's about 22 inches long, and I think I've got a piece picked out. Over here by the bandsaw, this is actually a piece of wood that came out of the tree that we cut down so many years ago, and that's white oak. And I think I'm going to try and run it through the bandsaw and see if I can get get a piece out of there that's 3/4 by 3/4. I think I can. Well, okay, so I measured this piece and I got from here down to where this knot was, and it's just right at 22 inches, and then I've got this sapwood here, and I'm not going to be able to get 2 pieces out of this. So look what I found. I don't know how long ago it was. It's been at least 3 years when we first were doing the bed logs. The bed logs were the main timbers that went along next to the centerboard trunk. And I'd forgotten about it, but when I was doing that, one of the original timbers that I had a terrible check in the end of it. It was kind of split, and we actually went back out to the tree and cut another hunk out of it to get another bed log. And the bed logs were massive. This is what was one of those original bed logs, and you can see in the end here where it's got these cracks in it. So I didn't use it, but I saved it. This grain here is beautiful, and I can get my 2 pieces out of this end of it on this side and get them both and still be using a piece that came out of the tree. The other thing about it, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it's actually got a bit of a bow to it already, so it probably will want to bend the way I want it to. So we're going to cut these out and hopefully be able to get 2 pretty good sticks of wood that we should be able to steam. So I'm pretty excited about it. Sometimes things go smoother than other times. Here's the first piece I cut out of there, and that check, that thing runs all the way up into that wood. Look, all the way up in here, all the way up to here. I can't use this one. It kind of looks okay there, but it's not. It's cracked. So then I started cutting another one. So this one was the next piece in, and it's got a little bit of check here, but I can get 3/4 of an inch out of this. And the grain looks pretty good on that. So I can get my 22 inches and 3/4 inch square out of that one. So then I was like, well, I'll just cut off another one. So I'm running it through the bandsaw, and well, there's my bandsaw blade broken in 2. Probably should have just run this through the table saw. I got about halfway up here, and where this other piece was a long time ago, I'd cut off a little bit off of here, and I was just trying to run that through the bandsaw like that, and it sure didn't like it. I got almost all that, but what I can also see is that this piece is going to be usable too. There's that little check still runs right in there. You can see that crack right through there, and then it comes up here, and that's that part clear back on the back end of there. Boy, I'm sure glad I didn't use this piece of wood for that bed log. But anyway, okay, we're going to be able to get this. I'm just going to have to, I've got another bandsaw blade. Oh yeah, there's one up there hanging up there. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. I'm tired. I better get busy. I got steam rolling. I got my wallpaper steamer started. Woohoo! All right. I cut out my pieces. I've got 2 really nice pieces of oak here that are going to be steam bent to be my seat supports. I've made my plastic bag. This is a high temperature nylon bag with, I use this black double sticky high temp tape that I bought. And so anyway, we're going to stick these in here, put the steam tube in there, and let it go for about an hour. All right, good luck. I should have waited and had this all set up before the thing started steaming. It's really hot, and I had a hard time getting the end of this just rolled up and clamped down so that the steam would stay in the bag, but as you can see, it's certainly doing that now. And I've got it propped up at a slight angle here so that when it comes back down here, it's propped down into a bowl, so whatever water leaks out of the bag can just go down in this bowl. And I don't know if you can see it very good, but those 2 sticks of oak are in there, and we're obviously getting a lot of steam out of here. Looks like I've got a little leak up here, a little part of this. I may try to turn it over a little bit to where that seam is up on top. But maybe not. We're not going to lose that much out of there. All right, it's got to go about an hour and we'll see what happens. We developed a little hole there. I got it clamped shut, but I can still see steam coming out. But the whole thing's inflated, so I know it's really hot in there. We've been going at it about 20 minutes. I've got my bending mold set up over there, and I've been measuring and figuring out what blocks we're going to bend around, and I think I've got it figured out. Alright, this has got to go for at least another 40 minutes, I think. So I pulled the sticks out of the steam bag and started to bend them. You may be able to see back there, one of those is already on there and bent. And then put this one in there, kind of check to see which direction the grain's running the best, and then just bend it. And it's pretty amazing how much you can bend that after it had been steaming for about an hour. This was a very, very tight bend, and so it was, I really kind of had to muscle it to get it up in there, but fortunately the mold held together and was able to get it clamped down. Between these two sticks that I bent in real time, it took about 11 minutes. And a lot of that was just me fussing with it and putting a bunch of different clamps on it, trying to make sure that it would stay where I put it and stay secure. So anyway, you'll see some pictures here in a second of what it actually looked like all clamped down. One of these bent much easier than the other. The one here below or on the right looks like a little crack, but I never heard the wood snap. So I think it may be usable. We'll see what it looks like when it comes out of the mold.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.